contributions, their sacrifices, their just their commitment to the program. And we have 6 this year. We'll start with a kind of a late comer, and that's Carlton Holmes. Carlton, you want to come on up first? Carlton transferred in from Woodrow Wilson and didn't become eligible to play until early February, I guess, right, Carlton? And he certainly had an impact over the last games or so. He's had some pretty good games and helped us to win some games along the way. So Carlton, although you're getting here a little late, thank you for everything you've given us. I'll open it up one time and show you what we got. I thought it was appropriate. We've had some seniors that would have difficulty getting here on time for Saturday morning practices, so we got them each a little alarm clock with a calculator and some other things on it. And it reads, Sterling High School Basketball Senior Night, Sterling versus Haddonfield, February 21st, 2008, Carlton Holmes. Thank you. Here you go, Carlton. Carlton. Our next senior also came to us kind of in midstream, and that's Jeff Cross. Jeff came to us, I think, from Winslow, right, Jeff? Transfer to Winslow Township. He's been a 3-year member of the program. An amazing athlete, and I know some junior colleges are looking at him to try to recruit him as Carlton. And I think he's got great potential, and his best days are ahead of him. So, Jeff, again, I want to thank you for everything you've given to the program. Our next 4 players are all what I like to call program players. They started with our freshman team 4 years ago, worked their way up through the JV program, and then ultimately the varsity level. And those types of players are the backbone of any successful team. And we'll start with that first of those 4-year seniors, Nigel Green. Nigel was playing real well throughout the spring, summer, and fall, and we thought he had one of those starting jobs kind of locked up, and unfortunately he hurt his knee. I guess it was the day before the opening game, right, Nigel? Like the day we opened up back in December. And he has also missed the better part of the season, but returned late again to help us win some games, so we appreciate everything that Nigel's given us. All right, and then we have our 3 senior captains. I'll do this in alphabetical order so we don't in any way show favoritism. We'll start with Gabe. We like to call him Albanese. Everybody else likes to call him Gabe Albanese, but it's Gabe Albanese. Gabe is the guy that every basketball team needs to be successful, a kind of a glue player, a guy that you can put on the other team's best player and know that he's going to work for everything he gets that night. Years ago, I don't even tell the kids this, but years ago I kind of put in my own little mental notebook an all-warrior team. And I said when I retired from coaching, I would take that all-warrior team out for dinner sometime. And Gabe, you have made that all-warrior team. Almost gave Gabe the microphone. All right, alphabetically next, Jack Brennan. Jack is a 3-year starter. The last 2 seasons played on some excellent basketball teams. Came up a little bit short in the conference to Haddonfield, unfortunately. And unfortunately, again, as was the case with Nigel, Jack was set back at the start of this season when he broke his nose in our very first scrimmage. So he was held out of 2 weeks of action, then had to wear a mask for 2 weeks, and struggled through that period of time, and is just finally beginning to get in stride here. And I really think if the season were starting today, you'd see an entirely different Jack Brennan, because he's been playing his best basketball this season the last couple of weeks. So again, thanks for everything, Jack. All right, and last but not least, our 3rd senior captain, Brian Gunning. Brian was thrust into an unfamiliar position for him. We kind of came into the season not knowing who was going to play the point guard position for us, and obviously if you follow basketball a little bit, you know that's a critical position. Over the spring and summer and into the fall, he kind of emerged as that guy. And it was a tough job for Brian to learn, because he was accustomed to shooting the basketball. He was an offensive-minded player through the freshman team and the JV team, and he had to kind of completely change his personality. Not to mention, he had to put up with me for 26 games on his butt to get him to play that position a little better. And I don't know of anybody who's handled my demanding and challenging style of better than Brian Gunning, and he's a much, much better basketball player now. Great job, Brian.
Seniors, I want to say thank you for everything that you did for us for 4 years. Some of you 2, some of you 1, but I'm always here for you guys, and you know that. But tonight we also celebrate an end to an outstanding career for Bill Hiltner. So let's give a round of applause for Bill. Bill, the Sterling family would like to present you with this basketball and a couple other gifts. First, the creator of the basketball was Caitlin Amadio from the Fine Arts Department. So let's give a round of applause for Caitlin Amadio. This ball symbolizes all you've done for the kids, the coaches, and the whole Sterling community. Your hard work and your undying love for the game of basketball will never be forgotten. This is truly an end to an era, and I'm proud to be your assistant coach. If I'd like the friends and family to please come up here and join me. All right. And I just want to say one thing, Coach. Oh, Marty. Oh, Marty.
Thank you. It's been a great ride. Jakey, where are you going there? That's one of my grandchildren. It's been a great... It's been a great ride, and I want to thank 30 years worth of players and coaches and opponents too. Guys like Paul. I coached against Paul's...
While Coach composes himself, we here at the Sterling family have a resolution that we're presenting him. This is the miniature version. We have the scroll version, as true knights would, and it says, whereas Coach William is widely recognized throughout the Sterling community as the personification of excellence in high school basketball, and whereas this highly respected coach is the architect of one of the most successful high school basketball programs in the Colonial Conference and has compiled over his 29-year career a record of 521 wins and 352 losses, winning the South Jersey Group II Championship in 1998 and 1999 and winning 8 Colonial Conference titles. Also, whereas his role as a coach was to act as an instrument of inspiration and enthusiasm to his players, to create a positive learning environment by encouraging competitive instincts and to instill the values and positive characteristics of hard work, dedication, and integrity. Whereas he is a shining example of the important impact that the efforts of individual coaches make on the quality of athletic training received by the young people of this community, and it is abundantly fitting and proper that his superlative accomplishments be recognized appropriately. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Sterling High School District, community, and family that the members of this community heartily and gratefully commend Coach William Hiltner for his sacrifice, foresight, accomplishment, and contributions on behalf of the basketball at Sterling High School and for the positive influence he has had upon the lives and futures of countless young people in this community. We congratulate him upon this grand occasion of his retirement and to extend him their most sincere best wishes for health, happiness in his future.
All right, one more time. Thank you. I started to say that 30 years ago I started coaching Paul's dad and Pat's dad. Pat's dad was at Audubon and Paul's dad was the coach at Haddonfield. And it's been 30 great years, and thank you very much.
Let's go! Play ball. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Sterling High School. And we're going to get to the game in just a few minutes, but we're here for Colonial Conference action. Boys basketball tonight. The Sterling taking on the Haddonfield Bulldogs. And on a special night here, if you have just tuned in, special night is our last home game for Coach Bill Hiltner in his 29-year career. I'm sure of that this year. But we do have a big event going on this evening with Coach Bill Hiltner's last home game. You see up on the screen here some of the accomplishments. 1978, he has been the head coach here since 1978. I don't know about you, Mr. Napoleon, but I was 10.
I was 11, and you know, I don't know what I was doing back then. That's a great question.
We have no idea what we were doing back then.
No. But that's a great thing. And I'll talk about the magnitude of that in a little bit. Haddonfield starting out in a straight man-to-man.
We'll set the starting lineups for you in a minute.
Again, Sterling comes out exploiting that height difference and worked really well against Audubon the other night.
Jumper just short for Carlton Holmes.
Haddonfield spreading the court a little bit. They're really challenging the help side. Sterling's got to do a better job of jumping to the ball.
Strong move to the basket, left just short. Good board by Carlton Holmes. Brian on the point for the Silver Knights. Joining him in the starting lineup, Jack Brennan, Chris Ward, Gabe Albanese, and Brian Gunning.
Gabe did a great job the other night against Audubon. Watch how he uses dribble right here. 1-2, gets in a better passing lane, throws that bounce pass into the post. You could see him doing that the other night. I think, again, Haddonfield's really got to jump to the ball and read that early because, again, getting the ball into Brennan early and shooting free throws like that is going to be very important.
Jack shooting 62% from the line this year, averaging 12 points per game.
Yeah, that's a good sign. Well, two guys right now, the two big guys are very active early on, and that's a good sign. An important, I was just going to say that, an important factor tonight is Brian Gunning's play on number 21, Dave Campbell, the point guard for Haddonfield. Once the first possession, he makes him pick up the dribble just across half court and then causing a turnover here this last time down. Yeah, they're really doubling down on the big guys. If you can see, there's always two guys.
Holmes with steps there.
Yeah. Sterling can be, you'll see the feet right here. Yep, he did it.
Carlton is a transfer student, and that's why you didn't see him earlier in the season out on the floor. He had to sit out a lot of amount of time for being a transfer student in. Number 23, Rob McFeeters.
McFeeters comes off a double stagger screen, and it was very effective. Again, there he goes with the dribble, getting it inside.
Strong move by Jack Brennan. Gets his own rebound and puts up the rebound for two.
So two things have to happen now with Haddonfield. They have to stop and get up and put more pressure on Gabe Albanese. And secondly, they got to front Jack Brennan in the post.
McFeeters dishes off the 45, TJ Zaleski, also a senior for Haddonfield.
All right, Chris Ward's going to come off this double screen now. I'd like to see him get in rhythm and take a jumper. Good look.
Yeah, good entry pass
Nice
inside.
look. I can tell you right now, if you have Carlton Holmes in the beginning of the year going through 3 weeks worth of practice, this team makes the playoffs. They're a different team. Yeah, what you're going to see here is a reach, and Carlton reaches with the wrong hand. Right here. Again, sliding your feet is important. Reaching is not that far out.
Not your typical Haddonfield team that I remember seeing in years past. A little bit smaller than you'd expect. Obviously, you're not going to have the 7-footer every year like they've had.
As you can see here, it's a simple back cut. Each player has their head up. Again, that's a good look. If I could say something about Haddonfield teams, again, these kids play the game 12 a year. They think the game. They know situations. And again, Paul Wiedemann, head coach of Haddonfield, just does a great job. They have a Division I player a few years ago, and then they rebound with playoff teams. And it's almost like they don't miss a beat. And it's because these kids are drilled to react certain ways in certain situations. Haddonfield picks up with a 2-2-1 full court now, just slowing up Sterling, getting them out of their secondary break and hoping that they just set up half court.
Change it up this time. Brennan gets it into Carlton for the first.
Sound like a foul to me.
A lot of contact underneath. Good shot, Chris Ward for 3.
That was a nice inside-out game. Now, Haddonfield fronts that time, but again, Carlton Holmes being 6'7", again, it's kind of easy to get it over the deep. You can see Jack Brennan just slumping off, knowing that he's not going to pull the trigger from 3. That's the problem there, though. You're not out the hedge.
Halfway through the first quarter, Sterling ahead 9-7.
Let's see if they front Brennan in the post. They do.
Brennan drives lane and will get fouled, go to line.
As we see it on the replay, it's important for a big guy to be a threat from wherever on the court. If Jack Brennan puts the ball on the floor, Haddonfield's going to remember that. They may react differently next time. That's what we call keeping them honest.
Leaves that one a bit short.
Be interesting to see what Coach Hiltner does with the bench here. I'd like to see Jack get a 2-minute break in the first quarter and get some fresh legs in there.
Well, now with Carlton being here, gives him a little bit of flexibility, big man wise, which he hasn't had all year. There's a turnover.
They're doing a nice job breaking that pressure.
That's where Jack being able to handle the ball really comes in handy.
They're being very patient here. From that overhead view, you can see how the big men are just interchanging their spots, looking to each other, and complimenting one another. Not a good pass.
Another turnover for Haddonfield.
Yeah. Second time Will Knight put the ball on the floor and probably shouldn't do that. Getting under control, being efficient with the dribble.
Past years, I remember Haddonfield with dominant point guard play.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing that yet here tonight.
Yeah, those guys were, a couple years ago, were pit bulls. It's a nice look. And one thing you've got to watch out for now, if they're going to get that I can see Coach Wiedemann talking to the official as the 3-second call. I don't know if that's...
Ooh, that was almost a walk. Blocked by Carlton Holmes, excuse me. And another foul underneath.
Okay. I think this is a good spot to get Carlton Holmes out simply because he got that first foul. You'd hate to get him a second foul here with a $1.49 in the first quarter.
Attempt for a late substitution now. A little bit of confusion at the table. Tipped out of bounds. We Sterling ball.
All right. Coach Wiedemann, I think, is going to change up his defense here, and it's a 1-3-1. So, again, you got to attack it with 2 guards. Getting a man in the middle is important. This is fine. They can exploit this.
Good stutter step by Brian Gunning.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. They made him pay for changing up the defense. I like to see Brian Gunning put more pressure on Campbell at the point.
Drive to the basket, number 33, Greg Console. Albany's leaks out and goes to the hole and gets fouled. Was on number 25, Luke Payton. Substitution in. Injury substitution, looks like. 22, Andrew Safos. Albany's makes the first, and now in for Sterling is Jeff Ross.
There you go. That's a good move. Jeff Cross is in there to play defense for a minute, as hard as he can.
And Albany's makes the second. Sterling out to an early lead, 16-9.
Right here, Brian Gunning should be putting and turning the man as best he can. That's good defense. That's excellent defense.
The other way, Console throws the elbow and gets called for it.
Yeah, you can't dip the shoulder. Most officials, once the contact is made and you dip the shoulder, they're going to call that foul. Back in that 2-2-1, full court pressure. I'm not sure. That might have been Sterling's first turnover. I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
Can't remember another one.
But again, that's going to happen every once in a while. Just got to play defense here for 30 seconds.
Console, jumper, and fouled, and is good.
I was about ready to say that's probably too quick of a shot. You want to use that clock. Chance for a three-point play.
Console name no stranger to Sterling sports fans. His 2 older brothers, both very good baseball players, one of which went on to play at Penn just a few years back. I'm glad to see this younger brother's on the basketball court, not on the baseball field.
Plenty of time. And ideally, you want to get a shot with 6 seconds so you have an opportunity to rebound.
Good pass inside to Jack Brennan. Missed it, layup. Probably should have used the backboard there.
Good bounce pass by Gabe Albanese.
4.5 seconds.
I think they're going to lob it in here. Maybe not.
Desperation shot, no good. Brings the first quarter to an end with score. Sterling Silver Knights 16, Haddonfield Bulldogs 12. As we take a look at the Colonial Conference standings as they are right now. Collingswood Panthers having one of those years again. They did lose a game. Who did they lose to, Mr. McCollum?
I believe they lost to Paulsboro. I'm not totally sure, but I think they did. They last week lost to Paulsboro.
Remember when we did that game last week or couple weeks ago here, you said it was be very difficult to go through that whole Colonial schedule without blemish.
I think the one thing I always think of is that there hasn't been a team to go undefeated in the Colonial Conference in a long time. Okay, we won the Colonial Conference I think twice with 3 losses. That's how competitive it was. So for Collingswood to go with 1 loss in conference, that's saying something. They're doing a nice job. Paulsborough's looking at it. 2 losses in conference. What do they have to do? So
that loss may help them in the long run, let them refocus maybe a little bit.
Yeah, kind of like the New England Patriots, I guess,
well,
right?
I'll tell you what, I know we had a baseball team a few years ago that ran off about 20 or 21 in a row, and I know the pressure, you think it's only high school sports,
Sure.
but those get big and build every time.
Sure. Bill Hiltner having his special drink over there, by the way, too.
I was going to ask you
That concoction, one day he came into practice and I said, what are you drinking? He said, iced tea and orange juice. And he read in a magazine or something, I believe, that it, gives him special powers or something like that. So it's good defense by Chris Ward. Closing out. Jack Brennan's got to get over that screen. And this is good defense here.
Ball tip. The 22 Sophos, no good.
Looks to me as if Haddonfield's coming out here trapping.
Good pass inside. Brennan
nice.
lays it in.
That's nice. Looks like a high 2-3, and they're trapping the ball, trying to just mix something up. If you get the ball in the middle of the floor and attack the glass, again, it's going to work every time to beat that. Now this defense, again, you see Jack Brennan slumping in the lane.
Jeff Cross going to go up for a dunk attempt and make it.
It was nice. The steal was set up by Jack slumping in the lane again, clogging the lane up, challenging the perimeter players to make a play, and they couldn't do it there.
Console, nice turnaround jumper.
He's a player. Chris Ward's close to carrying the ball there.
Jeff Cross gets fouled underneath. There's a replay of the dunk. Missed Jeff for a few weeks there in the middle of the season. He's hurt a little bit.
Yeah, Jeff came out this season, first 3 weeks of the season, I thought really contributed. Missed him for a stretch there, now he's back.
Yeah, with Jeff's return and Carlton, this team looks a lot different. It's a shame that they couldn't snuck in to the playoffs because they would have been a force.
Yeah.
Because they look much different with all this height now.
I think it's height, but I think it's athletic ability too. And, I think Gabe's got a sense of strength and athletic ability about him too. And when you put 5 guys on the floor.
This will be a blocking foul on Jeff Cross.
Again, we talk about moving your feet. Jeff's got to take one more step and cut that penetration off.
Ball's going to be short.
He called a technical. Okay, you see screen from the screener, a guy coming off and shooting. He's claiming he got fouled. I don't know. I don't know if you stop play there. Again, we're on a fast break, and there's a technical called, but needed to be called.
Technical foul is on number 23 for Haddonfield, Rob McFeeters.
So what will happen now is that the technical is called. He'll shoot two shots, and we'll have the ball. Sterling will have the ball on the side, and it's additional.
Chris Ward converts both, McFeeters will have to sit down. We get a technical call. You have to be taken out of the game. And it'll be sideline out of bounds for Sterling.
Yeah.
Why no 1-and-1 there, Mr. Napoleon? That is the 7th foul of the half.
If they did that, then they would turn when it goes to 10, a 2-shot foul. It's too much of a swing for one team to handle, I think. We'll talk about that in a second. Now that zone, they got to penetrate that zone and kick.
Quick shot by Chris Ward.
Heads up. Nice. Nice.
Nice look by Jeff Cross. Steal by, almost a steal. Knockdown. Shot for number 34. Not listed on our roster here.
You hear Coach Hiltner yelling gap, and that means he wants to get the players penetrating into the gaps of the zone.
Good rebound for Chris Ward. Good hustle underneath.
Yeah, as you can see, Sterling's just beating Haddonfield to the ball each time, offense and defense.
You get a good look at Chris Ward.
Chris had a good game the other night against Haddonfield. I'd seen some things that I hadn't seen all year. Attacking the glass, really making smart decisions. And Chris coming back next year, he's going to have to carry this team at times, and that was a good sign.
No call there, a lot of contact.
And Jack Brennan just got knocked in the face, and he had that broken nose early, and there's some blood, so we got to stop play. Getting back to that foul and possible one-on-one, I just think if a player makes a silly mistake in a game, you don't want that one person and that one mistake turning the tide. So now that'd be a 7-point swing. So they're just going to give him 2 shots.
Looks like it was just incidental between Jack and Gabe on the rebound.
That's unfortunate. Well, hopefully he'll get back. And that was a quick shot. You come right from the bench and you catch the ball for the first time and shoot. I don't know if Coach Hiltner really wanted that. Although Nigel can shoot it, certainly.
Nigel, another big body that was missing early on due to injury. Discontinued dribble. Called on Brian Gunning.
Yeah, Nigel now is doing the same thing that Jack Brennan did, slumping off on, I believe, it's a different player now. But, again, maybe a player that can't shoot the 3 or a 15-foot jumper, staying in the lane and helping out in any backdoor cut. Hence the open shot just then.
Blocked by Jeff Cross.
I love inbound plays, and playing Haddonfield over the years and all the weapons that they've had, they ran some great stuff.
Good inside move by number 45, P.J. Zaleski.
Yeah, that's something that Sterling hadn't given up. You know, that defensive rebound.
I think we got the benefit of the call there.
That's true. What didn't happen just then is they didn't occupy the middle. I think Chris Ward's got to flash hard to the ball. He didn't do that at that time. And, again, you're laying the passer out to passer here. No one. Somebody's got to flash. Here it goes. He's here.
Here we go, 5.
Got to get rid of it.
Collected up into the stands.
Okay. I would like to see a timeout here by Sterling, and you sense the flow. Well, Jack's back, so
Jack back in for Nigel Green. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first half.
There you go.
Good pass into Brennan.
Yeah.
Lays it in.
Haddonfield can't play that zone if they're not going to put pressure quicker on the ball. It's like a quarterback. If you don't put pressure on the quarterback, he's going to pick the defense apart.
Will Knight.
Jack doing a nice job with the dribble. Very nice.
Dunning gets trapped on the sideline. And it goes over to Haddonfield.
Some people say, well, why put the two big guys as we see this replay here? It might have got a grab. Might have got a grab there. I don't know. But anyway, why would you have two big guys bringing the ball up against the press? They're being efficient with the dribble. 2-3 hard dribbles to the right. Pivot, bounce pass. They're tall. They can throw a pass. That's the reason why you have them there.
And they can handle the ball.
And they can.
Cross again with steal. Take it up. That's just short, but it was fouled.
Okay, people out there watching the game don't realize, what's happening on the wings. And when you got a guy on a wing, like a Chris Ward and a Jeff Cross, and, we can mention a couple more guys flying in the passing lane, jumping in front of a pass. That's a great asset. The guys are quick. They're strong.
Look at Coach Hiltner and Coach Team. Sterling definitely has more energy tonight.
I think it was all the shirts.
It probably was. Probably was.
Now the question is, if there are any extra shirts left over, how can they order them?
I'd say we have to give them. Have to give out Mr. Teen's email for that.
Yeah. Don't call my number. Don't call my office number because I'm getting too many scheduling calls. I'm not sure if I had the time right now.
'Tis the season.
That last time down, Chris Ward did a nice job moving his feet. I always like to see Chris Ward play defense. Got plenty of time here.
Not quite enough. That seems quick to me. But
about 7 seconds there. Again, 10-second call is a situation. You got to get 10 seconds to get the ball across half court.
Just over a minute left to play here in the first half.
Jack's got to get better position there. And hopefully you see a replay here. You see Jack, there's a way to help. He closes his whole body. He doesn't know where his man is. His man is the guy that just got fouled, number 45. And again, there's a way to play. He's been doing a great job tonight, but he closed out. His back was totally to his man.
Well, 45, Zaleski makes the first.
I'm not sure of the fashion. But I'd like to see Carlton Holmes back for an offensive possession or two.
I wouldn't think that anybody's in any deep trouble. Only 5 team fouls so far.
Two-shot foul now.
Here comes Carlton to the table right now. Or maybe not quite yet. That's the 10th. We're getting that's the 10th foul for the half, so Jack will shoot 2 here. Oh, missed both. Still out of rhythm.
Gabe did a nice job there on number 23, McFeeters. Again, you got to have a little strength in this game.
Jeff Cross takes the charge.
I think when I'm watching this, I'm seeing very good team defense from Sterling. Getting the ball in the middle of the court, beating the pressure.
That's going to be a charge the other way. 32.3 seconds left.
Chris
Sterling
Ward's got to come with a jump stop here.
A little out of control. Brennan comes back out again for Carlton Holmes. Good defense again by the Silver Knights.
Got to stop the ball now. Full court pressure would be in order. Got to stop it here. You hear Coach Hiltner yelling in the background.
4, 3, 2, and makes the basket as first half comes to a close. With the score, Sterling Silver Knights 29, the Haddonfield Bulldogs 24. We're going to take a quick break here and probably hopefully come back with some guests, talk about Mr. Hiltner's last home game. And we will talk to you in a few minutes.
How you doing? Here at halftime, and again, John Watts spoke with us earlier, and now we have Jim Gallagher, who probably has known Mr. Hiltner the longest out of anybody probably in this gymnasium.
That's correct.
Okay.
50 years.
50 years? No.
50 years.
All right, listen, I want to go back to Margate real quick.
Okay.
Okay, tell everybody how you two met and how you knew each other before you come to Sterling.
Well, first of all, Bill and I were both from the inlet section in Atlantic City, and we didn't know each other then, but we lived only a block apart. And my family moved out to Margate when I was 10, and Billy's family moved out when he was 8. So, I knew all his brothers. His brothers were all athletes, his sister. I coached against his brother Tommy, who was the quarterback at Atlantic City High School. Billy and I played like stickball in the schoolyard together. He was a great baseball player. At age 8, he was a starter in a little league. So how many people know that? But also in high school, when he was an athlete, he was an excellent baseball player. When Atlantic City High School had excellent baseball teams, they were probably.
And you went to Holy Spirit, and he goes to Atlantic City.
I went to the rival high school. That's correct.
And you're same age, or you're older?
Well, I'm 2 years older than Bill. Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's something is that you had your career at St. Joe's and Holy Spirit coaching and teaching, and Bill was at Millville.
Right.
Did you still come in contact with him?
Well, we did during the summertime, and I'll add a little thing. His mother and my mother were very friendly. And what's kind of strange is when Billy moved here to Sterling, I was still at Holy Spirit High School, and when I resigned Holy Spirit in the spring of 1981, the job here at Sterling High School opened up, and it was Billy that called me and asked me to apply. So, I went through the interview process, but he was the guy that contacted me and told me that the head football was open here, and I wound up, having a lot of fun here with him and all the rest of the guys, including you.
It's been a pleasure because I coached under both of you, and John Watts and I were talking about the similarities between the two of you, and you talk about it a little bit. You demand certain things out of your kids, and you deal with parents, and there's that fine line between you're not the parent, but you're for 2 hours a day you are. And
well, absolutely. I think, truthfully, Billy and myself and all the coaches here. I mean, you treat your players; they're like your sons. You're very hard on them, and demanding. But at the same time, I don't think any of them would want it any other way. And I have to say, I don't think I missed one of his home games from about 1981 through 1995. I probably made every single one unless I was sick. I didn't go to the away games. And he had some excellent basketball teams. Now, there was about a 3-year period that I didn't go to as many games. Started going again when the 2000 era came in.
Right.
But, everybody has their favorite team. My favorite team of his is his 1985 team when he had Clint Person and David
a couple
Blunt.
football players.
And there was also Alvin DeGrilla and Tyrone Dupree. That was just a great basketball team that never stopped hustling.
Yeah. So now let's just talk about this. I don't know what we're going to do without the two of you. I mean, as far as every day seeing hallways, talking, and you guys have been together for how many years now at Sterling?
27.
27 years. I mean, that's
He's been
amazing.
here longer. I've only been here 27. So,
right.
Yeah.
I've skipped around a little bit. Now I'm back, but I can't imagine being at one place for 27, 30 years. And, it's a wonderful thing for me to work. And you're retiring, too. I got to tell everybody that also, right?
That's correct. June 30th.
June 30th will be your last day. Bill
As
Hiltner.
will Billy.
And I want to thank you personally because, again, you were a big part of my life. And I feel the same thing for Bill Hiltner also.
He's a great guy. He did a great job here. Excellent coach. Probably one of the greatest basketball coaches in South Jersey
Isn't that something?
history.
And we won't hold it against him because he bought a house in Brigantine.
No, we won't do that.
No.
We'll still see him. We'll go down there and drink.
Why not? Okay. All right. We're live.
Yeah, we are live. We are live. Yeah, we are live.
I'm looking around the gym. I want to catch one more player here. I
know I saw
Mr. Cleary here, but I don't know if Mr. Cleary. He's not much for words.
Not a big talker.
No,
not a big talker.
He writes it down on a piece of paper. But anyway, let's want to talk about the game a little bit.
Sure. I'm impressed with the Sterling tonight. I was kind of. It's a shame to talk about at this point in the year because they did have a lot of injuries and issues that they had to deal with as a team. But they definitely didn't fold the tent.
Mm-hmm.
They came out firing tonight, and this is big. If they win tonight, and they can win on Saturday, end up 500. That's a big accomplishment.
But everybody's got to remember Sterling played well against Haddonfield there, and we were talking.
Beat them there? I think
yes.
they won the first game. Yeah.
Now, people out there that are watching and listening, I think it was Danny Terrell's team. We won the Colonial Conference. We beat them twice that year, here and there, and that is an incredible feat. I don't think it ever happened in Bill's, tenure here as a head coach.
Let's just take a look at the leading scorers for the first half. Jack Brennan with 13. Balanced scoring for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think Haddonfield took some time there at halftime, and they're going to talk about Sterling slumping off defensively and clogging up the lane. They're asking Haddonfield to be a little more patient. I know they like to screen the ball, okay, which I don't like doing, but they do a nice job. I think what he's going to ask them to do is just wait a little longer. Wait for that screen to come. Be patient. Come off that screen hard and see what you got.
Just kind of take some shots around the gym. We are live tonight on Channel 19. So we're keeping it going here during the halftime. We'll get a look at some of Summerdale's finest. We're going to try and have a little fun with the second half, too. Along with the game, like we've been saying all night, this is a special night in Mr. Hiltner's final home game after 29 years of coaching here at Sterling. Mr. Kozneski put up some.
Oh my goodness!
Went and got some interesting graphics off the internet today, and there's a shot of his first team.
Mr. Hiltner's first, and I don't know about you, but I remember shorts like that in the 80s and late 70s, and kids today would never wear those. I'll tell you that right now.
Some of these facts from back in 1978, you can see on the right. Median income, $15,000. Amazing. And the first, cell phones are a great thing, but not in high school.
No.
I'll tell you that right now. Parents, if you're out there listening, have your kids leave their cell phones at home, please.
I just realized it took me 20 years to get a cell phone. You mean it was out in 1978?
Yeah, but it was probably about 20 pounds.
Right.
Halftime is just about ending up here. We're going to get started.
Look at this.
Oh, there's more stuff here. Oh, no three-point line in high school. Space Invaders. Remember Space Invaders?
Space Invaders, that was before carpal tunnel Space Invader syndrome.
And the first night Super Bowl. First time they played the Super Bowl under
How
the
about
lights.
That could have been in Pasadena.
Maybe.
Is that
we were talking about
Steelers
this today.
over the Rams? possibly. Haddonfield's coming out in a 1-3-1 half-court trapping zone. Gabe can't give up his dribble.
That's a good start to the second half. Chris Ward hits a three.
Whenever you throw that diagonal pass, it's a killer for a 1-3-1 zone.
Turnover, back over to Sterling.
Getting back to what you said, Haddonfield had some great guards, and these guards just don't measure up to the guards that they used to have, and you would never see a turnover like that.
Derek Thorne, I remember that name.
Yeah, and Vinny Sieka.
Vinny Sieka, that's right.
Pretty good players.
That team, I remember we played them in the Group 2 championship, and the big guy, how come I can't remember his name, got in some foul trouble, and they ran a 5-guard offense that they were actually better without the 7-footer in the
Oh, I remember that. Yes, Cherry Hill East, maybe, I think it was. Or you know what? I'm wrong. That was the previous game.
Yeah. Big fella. I keep calling the big fella. It's Zubak, who's down at Duke now.
Didn't catch who that foul was on.
This is number
Carlton
2.
Holmes. Carlton.
Just a second on Carlton. One player in the game with 3 fouls, and that is Greg Console, who actually isn't in the game at the moment. Drive to the basket by number 24. He gets fouled. Number 24 is Will Knight.
Yeah, that's the next part of the guard players. You got to be under control. Stopping for a 10, 15-foot jumper here probably would have been the option. See, I don't agree with that 10-second call. And I know Coach is saying the same thing over on the bench. You don't want the guys to turn the ball over, but give them an opportunity of using that entire 10 seconds. I may count next time there, Coach. Yeah. Okay.
That was a no-look pass on the receiving end.
That's right.
Waited a little too long. He should have dished it a little bit earlier.
Chris has got to get under control. He's such a good athlete. He's got so much potential. He's really played well, like I said, but as you can see, he's a little out of control. He had the man at the opposite block. You got to throw a bounce pass in that case.
Chris's second foul. Good rebound for Brennan. Looking for an outlet, finds Gunning.
And then, again, they're going to Zaleski's going to be allowed to shoot that jumper until he makes it consistently.
Albany goes hard into the scorer's table. Mr. Feeney got a little jumpy over there.
Well, those technology guys are always worried about their equipment over there.
That's right.
You know?
Almost offered up a possession arrow on that one. And that was a 3 for number 34, Wyatt Polk. Just a freshman.
Yeah.
Carry.
All right, I think a good chance to get a timeout right here. You got a situation where, again, Haddonfield is creeping back into the game, and why they're doing it is because Sterling they're doing something that they didn't do in the first half, and that's turn the ball over.
Oh, here's some more. Wow, that's a great picture of Mr. Hiltner. Wonder where he got that shirt.
He got that shirt. I saw it. I saw it in Glassboro at the. That is an excellent shirt. You know, instead of wearing the white shirts, we should have wore that one. He's a happy man there. Look at him.
And there's some premieres of TV shows from 1978. Man, every one of them was a pretty big hit. Good year for TV. The Bee Gees, Night Fever. Wow, another striped shirt. Quite a hairdo, too, Mr. Hiltner.
Is that Dan Patrick?
And Mr. Patrick, I think it's Suzanne Stout there in the center.
That
just
is
to
the English
left.
department back in 1978, maybe?
Wow. Bee Gees. Were you in the Bee Gees here, Mr.
Bee Gees are a
Hiltner?
great band. Well, Saturday Night Fever is my favorite movie.
That was it.
It's the one movie with the greatest lines, I think.
You hit my hair.
My hair. Now, Zaleski starts to make jumper. Jack's going to have to come out and play. Carlton did the right thing.
Good look by Gabe, corner to Brennan. Ward. No good from 3. Yeah, we've seen a big momentum shift here. Haddonfield only down 3 now. Good box
Good
out.
box out by Chris Ward, yes. All right. Oh!
We'll call that an attempted pass.
Well, that was a shot, Coach.
Yeah,
Come on.
I know it was
All
a
right.
shot.
Chris, again, either has to take that ball to the basket or get out a little bit. I think he's rushing his play a little bit here. He's too good of a player to get into this rut of a 2-minute segment where you get 3 turnovers or something like that, or you make a bad shot. It's like that three-pointer out there. I thought that three-pointer was a good shot in a lot of ways, but he rushed it. You've got to take his time, collect his feet, and then shoot.
Carlton Holmes makes 1 of 2.
Yeah. There's a lot of physical play here, and Gabe Albanese is really putting it to Rob McFeeters. And he's getting away with it. He's not fouling.
Oh. Yep, paying attention again. Very sloppy second half.
Plenty of time. Get it crossed.
So, another 10-second call.
And these are turnovers, Although there's a stoppage of play and there's no layup necessarily, it is a turnover. But I want people to watch Gabe here getting physical with number 23. Got to take it up the sideline there.
And Brennan goes to the hole, gets fouled, and makes the basket. It will go to the line for a 3-point opportunity.
Yeah.
And Brennan converts.
Yeah, I think the pace of the game has just, gone into 5th gear here or whatever. I think it's time maybe for a few subs for Sterling. It's 2.5 left here in the 3rd quarter. That's good defense by Gabe Albanese.
Three-pointer.
All right, so excellent move by Paul Wiedemann, taking out the big guy. Again, now Sterling has a matchup problem.
It was just a 2 from the corner. I thought maybe it was a 3. Gunning a little out of control.
Yep.
Over the back. Going to be called on Carlton Holmes. And that is his 3rd. So momentum is definitely shifted. Although Sterling still holds his 5-point lead, it doesn't seem like there really should be at this time.
Right.
Haddonfield not shooting a very good percentage, which is
Yeah, that's a problem now.
There's a three for Safos.
Yeah, Haddonfield's just picking up the defense now. They're really in your face. They're making it difficult to throw a pass. Somebody's got to be corner here. They're all over the place.
Good look by Gabe, but he get fouled before the pass.
I think Coach Hiltner in his fourth quarter is going to be classic Bill Hiltner, okay? So if we get another camera, you may want to leave that camera on the entire time.
Foul on,
it's a tough one.
On Safos.
Yeah. Coach Hiltner knows he got lucky there. You know, that was a situation where Jack didn't protect the ball as best as he probably should have, and then he...
Yeah. Put back by number 23, Rob McFeeters. And that game at 36.
Got to get the ball in the middle of the floor here. Haddonfield's doing a nice job matching up with Sterling.
Riding them up the court, and that's going to be a foul on number 24, Will Knight.
All right, here's a situation now where Sterling can go into the second half with a positive. If Jack hits these two free throws, if Coach wants to make a substitution and bringing in guys that can defend the 5 perimeter guys, that may be the smart move here. That's it.
Makes the first one-on-one situation. That was Haddonfield's 7th team foul of the half.
I think the key thing here is number 22, Andrew.
Brennan makes both.
What's his name?
Coming into the game right
22.
now is Jack Lomas. 43, and Jack Lomas in for Sterling.
Can't pronounce 22's name, Coach. You gotta...
Safos. I'm going with Safos.
Okay.
Might be wrong, but I'm going with strong and wrong. All right. Console drives the basket, makes it.
Console is, I believe, left-handed here, so you got to jump to his left side. But that's a continuation. It's almost like the ABA when, you know, you could take another step and lay the ball up.
Console at the line could give Haddonfield its first lead of the evening. Off the back iron, no good.
There you go. Nice
Good
pass.
Yep. And Carlton Holmes finishes.
Haddonfield's going to use the clock.
Under 20 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Excuse me. Left that one short. Wyatt Polk, the freshman. Albany's puts up a last-minute shot which would not have counted.
Yeah, that last time down, Chris Ward got beat to the basket, didn't drop to the level of the ball. Sometimes when the shot goes up, people forget to block their man out.
So we head to the fourth quarter, right where we started, Mr. Napoleon, with a tie ball game. And this, I believe...
Yeah, that was our Group 2 championship team.
We were talking this afternoon. I had everybody's name except for number 41 on the right.
41, and I'm not sure, but it kind of looks like Neek Washington, but I don't think Neek was. I don't think he was.
Neek had a little more broader shoulders.
Yeah, that is a great question. It could have been one of my JV kids.
Yeah, from left to right, though, we'll go with it was Coach Hiltner, of course, and it's Jamal McLeod, 53. Keith Wright, who is going to go into the Sterling Sports Hall of Fame this year. And David Kogan, I think, is a freshman. Yeah, we heard from at the bottom row, Kenny Rambo on the right. Next to him is our guest we had on earlier, John Considine. Pat Keene, center, who's the point guard. Rob Carson. And on the lower left-hand side, that's Ernest Turner, who went on to play at UNLV and University of Maine. And the fourth quarter begins, 40-40.
That's a good spin move. Excellent job.
Ball out of bounds off of the stanchion.
I don't think I've seen a Haddonfield team come down in one pass and a shot in all my years of watching them play basketball. You've got to get somebody middle here.
Basket for Brennan.
Yeah. The key to this game is somebody's got to come and get a stop. Consistent stop defensively. So you got to help side. You got to look for the ball.
Oh. All right, Jeff Cross is going to check in for Carlton Holmes.
Yeah, they're tired. And sometimes when you get tired, you forget the fundamental things that you should be doing. Carlton, again, knows better. You don't throw the ball that cross underneath your own basket or the opponent's basket, excuse me.
Jack going to go coast to coast here. Now he jumps it off Jeff Cross.
Jack Brennan knows that this is his last quarter at Sterling High School. He looks like Footsie Walker out there from the New York Knicks.
How old are you?
Let me tell you something. All right.
There's Console going in, gets fouled by
Again,
Brian Gunning.
Mr. Hiltner has been teaching help side defense here. Now watch this. Look at the guys on the other side of the court. No one sees the ball. 1-2 guys. You got Gabe Albanese and Jeff Cross. Should have been halfway over underneath the basket helping there. I think Sterling's doing everything they can to break the pressure. The problem is once you got your 6'5", 6'6" guy breaking pressure, he picks up his dribble. You need somebody to flash middle, and I guarantee you can score every time.
Greg Console makes both. 2-point game. And riding him all the way up the court, Safos. Brandon will go to the line for 1-1.
Good coach Hiltner and Sterling have 4 timeouts remaining. I wouldn't be surprised once you get to the 4-minute range here. You start seeing him use some timeouts.
Brandon makes the first. His nose is still giving a little trouble. He's got a cotton ball up there.
Does he?
Looks like it. I don't see any blood, but.
Okay, again, he's got to jump to the ball. Guys on the weak side.
Will Knight. Nice drive to the basket.
Looking skip pass here.
Chris Ford shoots from the baseline, no good. Got to show some patience. Just getting ready to say that it's calmed down since they let Jack handle the ball and fall off the court. I should have kept my mouth shut. ties the game.
Yeah. Costly mistakes. Again, I see two guys just watching play here. You desperately need somebody to shoot middle.
Go, Gabe.
There you go, Gabe. Nice decision.
Whoa. Open free for Ward that time.
Got to get a stop here now. I would say Council and Brennan, that's a mismatch. Yep.
Almost a steal by Albanese. Good help. All right, picking up the defensive pressure a little bit.
Yeah, Sterling's playing hard here, right? I think if you play hard, good things will happen.
Just about halfway through this fourth quarter.
There it is. It's in the middle. Got three guys that are running at him. Someone's open.
Console can take a long three. Made open, uncontested. As poor a shooting percentage as Haddonfield's had tonight, you're not going to miss a wide open three when you can set your feet, have a cup of coffee.
Counts. Yeah, what are you trying to say? You and I can make that shot?
I know I could.
Okay.
You probably could.
You know, again, Council's too good of a player.
There's more recent photos of Coach Hiltner.
Everybody's coming up these days. What's up with this
Hey, Officer Beatty.
Officer Beatty's here.
We can't even call a cop to get him out of here. He's
talking about a cook-off.
We talked about a cook-off the other night at an Audubon. We're trying to talk about Coach Hiltner here. But you want to talk Food Network? Let's go. Okay. Anyway, if you missed the game, we have a food challenge.
There's a shot of Mr. Hiltner with his family.
Yeah. Some memorable games. I think that was 500, right?
It sounds right.
Okay.
His wife Amelia, who's also a retired teacher, so they're
Yes,
going
she is.
to enjoy retirement together.
Yeah, we want to wish them the best, and I know it's early, and he'll still be here until July 1st. But Amelia and Bill are going to enjoy themselves. I can't believe he's not going to coach. I think he's going to coach somewhere. He'll probably be coaching, some AAU team or YMCA team somewhere in Brigantine. But I wish them the best. They're good friends of mine, and just like everybody in this gym, we wish them the best.
Okay, we're going to have an interview with Coach Hiltner after the game is over. Cross with the rebound, goes up and gets fouled. Jeff Cross brings energy.
Yes, he does. Again, Sterling now has to beat the pressure. I think Coach Wiedemann is just going to implement that pressure for the remainder of the game.
Makes the first.
They're shooting free throws now. They're doing a nice job. They're taking care of business on the line.
In and out on the second attempt. Sterling gets the rebound. Brennan going up strong. Oh, can't get the roll. Up again.
Oh.
Can't get the roll again. Another rebound for Brennan. Now he gets fouled. Good hustle by Jack Brennan.
Yeah. They're doing everything they need to do. I mean, they're missing some chippy labs, but they're making up for with some great hustle here. That last Council did not block out, which allowed Gabe Albanese the lane inside. Coach Wiedemann does not care that it's Coach Hiltner's last game. I guarantee you that.
They're all competitors. They want to win, and he's getting a team prepared for a playoff run.
A win would put them to 18, and another great job by Coach Wiedemann. Now, Jack Brennan's got to come out and play on Tasso.
Jump ball called. First jump ball of the evening going Sterling's way.
This time of the game, again, Council puts up a shot. You got to make contact. You either got to get the foul, go to the free throw line, okay, or make the basket at this time. That's a break. Got away with it.
Got away with a travel. Haddonfield stands made the call.
I think Coach Hiltner's going to eat some clock here. I don't know if it's a design play, but remember, he's got timeouts left. And what's coming up again, we got a situation of Sterling only 5 fouls and Haddonfield with 10. What's that mean? Sterling will be shooting the 2-shot foul. You got to really step to the ball here, everybody. And Haddonfield, you can't foul. You foul, that's 2 shots.
Good hustle on the floor. Oh, good look by Gabe Albanese from the floor after he got tied up. He turned the ball over, kept his head, and made a great pass to Chris Ward. Big basket. Just over 2 minutes left now in the fourth quarter.
Maybe a situation. If Sterling gets a stop, that's close to a 5-second call.
Shot up, no good. Foul on Sterling. On Brian Gunning. Second on Brian.
The Council has really worked hard tonight, and I mentioned earlier that Gabe Albanese had been on him, and it's wearing when you got a guy
Council misses the first.
On you the entire night.
Albanese again.
Gotta attack it.
Turnover. Ward attacks. Basket goes left hand. No good. Way too strong off the board.
That would have put them 5 up.
Whoop. Oh, and there's an unforced turnover.
It gets ugly here, and you don't want to have at the end of the game be decided on an official's call or, someone kicking the ball out of bounds.
1:34 left. Sterling holds a 3-point lead. Let's get a look at our cheerleaders.
And it's our cheerleaders' last boys game also. Are we going to do the girl?
I believe we are.
Okay.
Actually, you got a Saturday, don't we? Oh, the last boys game, that's right.
Yeah.
Girls will be home on Saturday for their last game of the regular season against Haddon Township.
Mm-hmm.
And then playoff game Monday night, that is the 25th.
And we are playing.
As we wait for Mr. K to tell us who we're playing.
Gateway. Okay.
Winner of that game will move on to play the Collins.
Piece of cake.
Girls are battling through some injury problems of their own right now. They lost their center, Sam Eichholz, to a broken ankle, I believe, in practice the other day, so that's going to hurt a little bit.
Changing it up a little. Move some guys around.
Block on 22. Sophos, Andrew Sophos. Sterling will go to the line for 2.
Again, the situation is 2 shots here, and again, an opportunity to go up by 5.
Brennan makes the first.
This gives you the opportunity to really substitute and put your best defensive players in this situation. They're on defense. As we hear Coach Hiltner shout out the matchups, he's definitely going man-to-man here.
Sterling with a 5-point lead with 1:23 to go here in the fourth quarter.
That's excellent. Brian Gunning is denying the point guards. It's preventing them from getting into the design offense.
Ball fake. Shot is up and just long. Good fought for the rebound. And number 24, Will Knight, put back.
Haddonfield gets back. There's no full court pressure here. Looks like a 2-2-1.
Good timeout by Gabe Albany.
Good
trouble
timeout.
there.
That's right. And again, Coach Wiedemann switched up the defense. It was kind of different. Got in a little trouble.
Yeah, just out hustled Sterling Knight there.
I think we're going to be wearing these shirts for a while, Coach.
I don't know.
They have a lot of meaning.
Mine feels a little bit too much like a sausage casing.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. I've had a good time this year watching the handful of games, the 5-6 games.
Yeah, it's been a good time. We usually have the kids doing these games, but no, we pulled some rank.
Listen,
a couple of these big games
I'm
this year.
willing to give it up at any time a kid wants to step in here. Okay.
Hey, under a minute to go here in the fourth quarter. Sterling holding 3.
Plenty of time for Haddonfield. They just got to get a nice stop here. I wouldn't shoot a 3 here if I was Sterling.
Dangerous pass there.
You're going to look to attack the glass. And that's
There it
exactly
is.
what we're talking about right there.
Brian Gunning, assist. Chris Ward. Sterling up 5. And an air ball. 24 left. Sterling's going to take a 20-second timeout.
Yeah, Coach Hiltner wants to make sure now they get the ball in bounds. Again, we cannot run baseline here. The ball will be dead. You can't run. So, again, he's probably going to design something, a screen, a definite screen here.
You see the last pass, nice pass, Brian Gunning into Chris Ward after breaking the pressure.
I don't know. I think, at this time, you're going to play tough defense, Haddonfield. You're down by 5. With 24 seconds, you're going to play the 10-second play. Remember, they got the 10-second call about 3 times tonight, so it's not a bad move. You have plenty of time. You run and you try to trap, get a steal, but be smart about it. Don't do something stupid. Again, once you get court, if Sterling beats it, Haddonfield's going to foul. So Sterling's thinking, stepping to the pass at each time, throwing a bounce pass, and shooting good free throws here.
And we got Jeff Cross deep here.
Yeah. Somebody's got to go long.
He's open long if they want to look at it. Jeff has got ups. Saw him during the football season as a wide receiver.
Coach Wiedemann took a different route there. He chose the foul right away. Now, again, it's a 2-shot foul here. And it's a 2-possession game. If Gabe makes one of these, or 2 of these, and now it's a 3-possession, a 3-score game. So it's very important to think here that Gabe not only has to hit 1, he's got to hit 2.
Sophos, I believe, just fouled out of the game. And Sterling has been shooting a pretty good percentage.
Here's a situation where a coach chooses not to put anybody underneath. He's bringing everyone back, preventing the 3-pointer.
Gives Sterling a 6-point lead, 22.5 to go.
And they're huge.
Big foul shots by Gabe.
And they're huge, and the game is almost over right now if they can get just one more stop. And I'd love to see the seniors walk out here with the win.
Good hands there. Steal by Brian Gunning.
Yep.
Go up and gets fouled. On the floor, I believe the foul, though. I don't believe they're going to give him the basket.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see the seniors after he makes these two walk off the court for one last time.
Really proud of the guys not hanging their heads as they really could have done earlier on. After not making the playoffs, seniors show some leadership, and
they're all great kids, and I see them all day. You see them all day. They really do appreciate us coming out and watching them.
Gunning misses both. No foul. Good block by Jack Brennan. The LDs to just hold the ball and let the clock run out. And the final score tonight from Sterling High School: Silver Knights 59, Haddonfield Bulldogs 52. Silver Knights finish up their home part of the schedule on a positive note with 2 wins over Haddonfield this year, which doesn't happen very often.
And the important thing is that Coach Hiltner goes out at home with a win. Plus, he can still Saturday, which again means a 500 season. I believe it's 13-13. So.
Okay, we are going to take a break here for a second and get together our post-game show. Hopefully, we're going to talk to Coach Hiltner on this momentous evening.
We're courtside here with Coach Hiltner, and again, Coach, great season. I mean, as far as Saturday, you have an opportunity to become 500. I guess that's kind of a goal for you. Want to talk about that?
Yeah, when we didn't make the playoffs, we thought we had a shot, and we just fell short. At that point, we said we wanted to get a winning season for the seniors, and we're within 1 game now. We just have to go to Haddon Township and play hard and play smart and see if we can't get that 13th win, and that'll give us that 500. So that would be nice.
Plus, and people don't realize it, but we talked about it this week, that you just beat Haddonfield twice, home and away, and we only did that, I think, Danny Terrell's senior year.
Yeah, I went back as far as 93, and the only time we could find that we had beaten them twice was that team with Danny. Was that 2001 maybe?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there.
Might have been a year after Ernest Turner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was the following year. And that's saying something. Haddonfield's a very good team, very good program. Probably, this might sound boastful, but probably the only program that's been more successful than we have over a long period of time. Paulsboro wins one occasionally, Woodbury wins one, Heights might win one, but I'd say over the past 30 years, it's been largely Haddonfield and Sterling 1-2. So it's nice to be able to get 2 off of them.
Real quick, talk about the seniors. You said before the game, the fact that would have, could have, we didn't have an injury there, and just say some of the same things you said earlier.
Yeah, I don't want to make any excuses, Mark. We didn't get it done this year, so I don't want to talk about why we didn't get it done. We didn't, but from the standpoint of the 6 seniors, 2 of them joined us late. Carlton Holmes came in from Woodrow Wilson just this September and was ineligible until late January, so he really only played maybe 10 games out of the year, but he gave us a nice lift in those 10 games. He did some nice things early in the game tonight. He got a little tired, ran out of gas. Jeff Cross came in and gave us some energy, and helped us there too. Speaking of Jeff was another transfer, played for us 3 years, sophomore, junior, and senior year. He came in from Winslow Township. Jeff and Carlton, along with Jack, probably have the biggest upside of anybody in this program because they're very good athletes. They just have to decide whether or not they want to work at the game of basketball year round and take themselves somewhere with it. I know Burlington County College was interested in both of them, so hopefully those 2 guys will be able to parlay that. Now the 3 senior captains, I introduced them alphabetically because I didn't know how else to do it. Gabe Albanese. Gabe is just one tough son of a gun. He's nasty. Doesn't have a lot of natural ability on the basketball court. He's a baseball player. Gabe would be the first to tell you that. But he just works hard and listens, and I don't know if you saw the number of times out of that press where he threw great skip passes across the top of the press to wide open players because he's strong enough to make that pass, and he sees it happen, and he makes good decisions. Gabe is just one of those guys that you just don't win basketball games unless you have a guy like that on your team that's not necessarily a shooter or a ball handler or whatever. He's just a tough son of a gun. That would bring us to Jack Brennan. Jack had a rough senior year. He'd be the first to admit it, I'm sure. He broke his nose in our very first scrimmage, was out for like 2 full weeks. The doctor wouldn't even let him practice. Came back for 2 weeks with a nose guard, a face mask on, and he really struggled with that. I think it affected his confidence. Then he tried to come back off the face mask and had trouble just getting his conditioning base back and all that. And I think he's finally rounding into form. I thought he played one of his better games tonight. Unfortunately, the injury set him back that whole period of time, and he's kind of getting there late. But Jack will definitely play at some level. I know Widener is very interested in Jack, and some other Division IIIs. Randolph-Macon has a good program down in Virginia. They're interested in him. And then finally, Brian Gunning. Brian, for 3 years, was a shooter. We used to call him, his nickname was B-Gun, for good cause, good reason. He would no sooner touch it, he'd be shooting it. And we were lacking for a point guard, and we said to him in the off-season, would you like to work out? He said sure, and he tried, and he struggled early. And again, he'd be honest, he would tell you too that he struggled early, but he started getting a little better with experience and concentrating a little more, and at a point where he was getting us into our offense and allowing us to do the things that we needed to do offensively. And I'll got to give Brian more credit than that, even because he's, you coach with me. I'm probably tougher on any other player on the floor than as the point guard. There's nobody I get on more than the point guard. And Brian heard me a lot this year and took it and got better. And I have to give him a lot of credit for that.
I think you hit on a lot of points there, and a lot of your guys have better basketball in the years to come, I would say. And a lot of these kids weren't a part of the program for 4 years. Carlton Holmes, just as an example, how would you like to have had Carlton for 4 years?
Yeah. Well, you know what? We talk about this a lot in the coaches' offices. We're a Group 2 high school, and part of being at a Group 2 high school is kids have a lot of opportunities. They can play football in the fall. They can play basketball in the winter. They can run track in the spring or whatever, volleyball, baseball. And those are great opportunities for kids, great learning experiences. They're exposed to a lot of different other student athletes and other coaches. But the downside is that they're not getting better at basketball while they're playing those other sports. Jeff Cross is a perfect example. Jeff played, I guess, was football and volleyball for a couple years. But if Jeff were to decide that he wants to go JUCO and play basketball, nothing but basketball, 12 months a year, he could go somewhere with the game. Same thing with Carlton. Carlton, we just got late, that's all.
Yeah. I know we got a busy night tonight, but I want to hit on a couple of things. We talked to some celebrities tonight, okay? Real quick, because I don't know if we're having the opportunity. First of all, Johnny Watts.
John, my most vivid recollection of John would be he's the only guy that in the last 15 years that we've been running the sports report that barged right in the middle of the sports report and disrupted the entire show. Wow. That has never happened before, but Johnny Watts did that.
He said some great things about you, and Jim Gallagher came on, and Jim really was our halftime show, and he said a lot of great things from Margate to how he got here, and just say a few things.
Yeah, most people don't know this. So Jim and I actually grew up 2 blocks from each other. He was a couple of years older than I, but we played stickball in the schoolyards. We played basketball too. People don't know that Jim was a pretty good little basketball player when he was younger. We did a lot of things athletically. He went a little different way. High school, he went to Holy Spirit at the Shore. I went to Atlantic City, and he was a couple of years ahead of me, so he didn't really compete. And then, most people don't know this either, when Ernie Arizzi decided to give up coaching back in the early 80s, I called Jim, because I had been here maybe 3-4 years by that time, and I knew he was at Holy Spirit, but looking to get into a public school system where he could get a better income and pension plan, that sort of thing. So I called him immediately, and I said to him, Jim, we got an opening. Why don't you come up and take a look at it? He did, and the rest is history. It's been a lot of fun working with Jim. He and I, and the three of us, have a lot of fun during the course of the day.
I also want to mention, before we go, I got to give you something here, okay? It might fit like a sausage casing, but I think it'll fit. I don't know if I forgot you tonight. Anyway, I want to, real quick, I can't believe that you're going to be done coaching, okay? And a lot of people say this, okay? In some form, can you see yourself coaching again? Maybe not at Sterling.
No, I think it's time to move on. It's been a great ride, and I've had the privilege to coach a lot of great kids and work with some great assistant coaches, yourself included, and compete against a lot of great coaches. I said to the crowd that I'm to the point now where I'm coaching against the sons of the fathers that I started out against. Tonight, Paul Wiedemann and Pat Harvey, the 2 Haddonfield coaches, I started out against Paul's dad, Dave, and Pat's dad, Gene Harvey. Exactly. And but the answer is no. I think I'm ready to move on. I want to spend some time with grandchildren. My wife and I want to travel, and No.
I think Jim Mogan of Sacred Heart once said that if you're in the game, you're fortunate enough to be in the game. You have so many connections, you meet so many people, and the wins certainly do come. But it's because of your longevity and excellence. We are certainly blessed here, and I want to thank you because again, I think I was with you for 8 years, and I think we won 4 Colonial Conference championships and a Group 2 championship, and I never had, maybe once or twice, a motivation to go elsewhere and to be a head coach because I was having so much fun. And again, I want to thank you.
Well, now that I think about it, since you've left, we have not won a conference championship.
I didn't say
now,
for
what does
that
that
reason.
say about Marty and Larry
Well,
back
we'll talk
there?
about it tonight. We'll talk about it tonight. Anyway, I want to thank you, Coach. It's going to be a great
Thank you,
next
Mark.
2 or 3 months, and we're going to have a lot of fun. But
Thanks,
thank you.
Mark. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're going to bring it back.
All right. We'd like to thank Coach Hiltner and Mr. Napoleon for that inspired interview. Once again, Sterling wins tonight over the Haddonfield Bulldogs. We see Mr. Hiltner seeing some friends and family at the end of the court. We'd like to wish him and his wife Amelia well in their future endeavors. And for Mr. I am Dan Farr. Going to wrap this up. Thank the tech crew, Mr. Kozaneski, for all their hard work. We will be back with you again on Monday night, the 25th, the girls' home playoff game versus Gateway. Come on out and see them live. If not, tune in to Channel 19 later in the week and catch that game. Take care and have a good night.